Hello and welcome to the Oregon Music Hall of Fame again. This time as Artist of the Year. The band was inducted in 2014. So for the Dandy Warhols, what does it mean to you this time around?
Well, it means somebody at least is paying attention to all the hard work that we ground out so much material, and obviously, you know, for wholly therapeutic reasons, but isn't that what the difference between art and entertainment anyway? So yeah, I was pretty stoked. Like, I mean, we put out a 9-course dinner music record with the recipes, the wine pairings, films to go with each one, you know. So like the salad course is very lots of hand percussion, and then it's like old 80s ski, early 80s ski films for the visual, the film component, and, you know. And then we posted up four or five times a week for a year. I mean, it was nuts. It became like, I don't want to go in there anymore. It was really something. Yeah, but we did it, and it was great. We really just pulled the plug a few weeks ago. We were like, okay, that's 52. All right, that's enough. 52. Yeah.
The magic number.
Yeah. It was just, boy, about 49 and a half. We were like gasping for it, just clawing and scratching our way towards 52. But we're not gonna give up. We're gonna do it. You gotta go. You gotta fight. Come on, soldier. Yeah.
Courtney Taylor-Taylor, graduate of Sunset High. And also you mentioned you went to PCC.
Yeah, by janitor, strip club janitor, my way through PCC back then.
Well, where did music really get into your soul?
I know exactly what it was, because I was 4. And, I just remember looking up at all the grown-ups, and, the radio was a thing, like a tire is a thing, a spoon is a thing, and the radio was a thing. And then this thing came on the thing, and it was called Killer Queen, and it was breathtaking. And I just remember looking up and being outraged that they were still talking. Did they not hear what was going on here? This was not like anything else. And then I put it together that, then I became a really good kid around bedtime. I wanted my parents in and out of my room. I didn't want a drink of water. I didn't want to get up. I wanted them out, close the door, turn out the lights, and then I would sneak over to the radio and I would find things that sounded similar. Maybe that's where it is. And I would just wait and wait and wait. And then I heard Radar Love. And then I knew, this is what it sounds like. This is what it must feel like to be cool. This must be cool. This must be rock. And I had an older brother, so he would have been 6.5, so he would have probably been hearing, kids say rock, and so he was probably saying cool and rock and stuff in his, little boy vernacular. So I had those ideas in my head, and that was, and then at 9, and I know this because we had the bus stop in front of my house, so I know it was 9 was the only year that happened, shivering in the cold, nervous, and quitting the idea of being a songwriter because I had heard the sound of silence. And that made me realize it wasn't just rock, it was music, and only certain pieces of music that just got me, just slayed me. So I became a drummer, and the Dandies is my first band ever admitting that I've been obsessed with songwriting, counting chords and where's the melody going, and studying music at the jazz college when PCC Cascade was a jazz school. Mel and Thero were out there teaching, and those guys. I definitely feel like I was at a lucky time in this city to be a musician, and it's basically free to live here, if you remember.
Yeah. Yep. There were so many clubs also back when the band was starting out. I mean, you couldn't. You,
real armpits. Yeah.
oh, they were armpits, but you couldn't throw a rock in this town without hitting a club with a band in it, a live band.
Well, we had MTV to bring what we do to the world in a huge way that made musicians on par with professional athletes and politicians for influence, power, fame. You know, that was MTV, we griped and complained about it and blah 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 blah. But boy, that was awesome. You know, I mean, it was musicians got huge, I guess, in the 50s, like huge, like Elvis. And then by the 60s, it was stadium legends, 70s, huge arena rock. And then the 80s brought on MTV. So it was, it was this ascent of this one art form. And and it's dropped out, and it's really just, the digital age has really brought on, like loading up a song or a video onto YouTube is about the equivalent of pulling into New York City in 1981, popping your trunk, playing your CD, and selling them by hand.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's gone organic again in its own weird way.
Yeah.
But it works. Now you have one of the most enviable friendships. You had one with David Bowie.
I was just sent a picture of. Actually, this is an amazing. I don't know if you'll be able to pick this up, but my cousin just sent me this, which I see it every now and then. This was. Can you see what that is?
Oh yeah.
That was Yeah, I had a good few years where I kind of got to be his little buddy.
Well, he was a fan. That's the cool thing is that, not only
our shows,
New
York and London, and we went to the studio. We were, he would have us into the studio to work with him, and he was making Reality, and I can't remember the other record, but during that time, and he hadn't worked with Tony Visconti in 25 years, and I did a song with Tony, and I called him up about a month later and said, "Hey, you play for David?" And he said, Yeah. I'm doing his next record. That guy hasn't called me back in 25 years.
Wow.
I was like, wow, great, cool. And then they really made great records together.
The thing that struck me, I only got to meet him twice, and he was a huge hero of mine. And one of the things that struck me when I met him was when you meet him for those 5 seconds that you get to do the meet and greet backstage before the show, you feel like you're the only person in the room with him. He had that quality.
Well, he did it on purpose. He had so many people that he needed to connect with, and particularly when we were on tour, he would some dude like a rigger or something, he took a gaff tape carrier, and he would just sit down next to him at lunch, and he would just shoulder between the next person. And I was the next person once, and this is why I know this, because I was like, "Hey, Dave." Oh, I get it. He was, "This is your time right now. We're not getting interrupted. Great. I'm listening. I'm talking. You got David," and he was a master.
An amazing quality.
Yeah.
It really is. Now, what's special about Oregon to you, and do you still call this place home?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Special about it, it's not what it was, so I have a hard time with it now. It's definitely a place like a place we would go through on a tour. It just has a.
What's missing for you?
The clubs, the low rent district, the ability for people to be fringe society, civilization artists, $150 a month rent, so that I mean, it's just not easy. You can't live here anymore for cheap, so it's not that kind of town. It's a young urban go-getter professional town. I think it's still a good place to raise kids.
So you'll be playing out this year.
Well,
good and bad.
Next year we're supposed to. We got our Australian tour moved from December to April, and then we've got February. This February got moved to next February. So 2022 we've got two. We got Europe, UK, and Australia. So that'll be, you know, theoretically it'll just be like like it used to be, kind of.
Good.
You know.
Glad to get back out there.
Oh my God. Wow.
Relief.
Oh, the freedom, you know, that knowing what you have to do today, and there is nothing, no distraction, nothing. Everything in your world is geared to get you to that place you need to be, to do that thing you're supposed to do. It is your gift, you know, and you have a very limited lifestyle, you have limited possessions, limited social circle, and people just can't get at you. Tour is amazing, you know, for artists, and you know, and I have such a good time with the members of my band. They're just really great. It's my cousin, it's my best friend from out of high school, and then the chick from the coffee shop, you know, that was really funny and fun to hang out with. So, and then we kind of learned how to become better musicians and play these particular instruments, because I was always a drummer. I never played guitar and sang before.
Well, congratulations on getting inducted into the Oregon Music Hall of Fame.
That happened then. This is what Artist of the Year.
Artist of the Year.
I've gotten more texts about congratulations about getting inducted. I'm like, oh, that was 5 years ago.
You're already inducted, but you're inducted again. It's the Double Timers Club. So.
All right, double header. All right, Dandy's double header.